Hello everyone, it's Imran here. Welcome back to another video. So I know I'm nearly 11 days late on this. Excuse me, but with everything going on recently, I'm just trying to react to as many videos as I can. I am. So I'm going to react to the first audio story of season 6 of Kiefer Adams' Thomas and Friends audio stories. I am uploaded on September 1st, and this one is Big City Puffa. So like I said, it's the first audio story of it's the first episode of season 6 of Kiefer's audio stories. He did confirm it will come out in September it would. I just wasn't expecting it to be on the very first day of September. It is right there. So Kiefer is going to take a similar approach of an upload schedule. This video was uploaded on September 1st, and last weekend he uploaded 2. He's going to be doing the usual 2 again, he is. So obviously the first 3 stories have been released, but I have not been able to react to them due to being busy and stuff. So Big City Puffa is going to talk about what happened to Marklin after what happened to him on Sodor. On Sodor, he did. Obviously, Marklin became kind of fading into the background. He became a bit more ruder. He did after Thomas came along, but he turned out he was homesick. He went back to his home. He did, and is now working on and went to work on Big City Port, like in the 2 Big City audio specials I watched last year. I did. So this is going to explain how Marklin went from being on Sodor to the Big City Port. It is right there. If you want to know what the last audio video I reacted to from Kiefer, it was the mainland adventure. Which was quite a good one. I really enjoyed it. I'll have my reaction to that out in the top right corner of your screen if you want to go and check that out. But yeah, season 6 is here. I'm really looking forward to it. Kiefer said in the description of this video, it's bigger and better than before. He's also been doing therapy sessions after his Twitter incident last month. Kiefer's been going to therapy sessions, and so far it's really helped him. It has, so I'm really glad that Kiefer's doing well, and I can't wait to see how season 6 of his audio stories opens up. Might react to episode 2 next because I find it quite interesting. I do, but let's just see. Links to I'm reacting to in the description down below as always. So without further ado, let's just wait more time and react to the first audio story of season 6 episode 1 of Kiefer Adams' Thomas and Friends audio stories.
Big City Puffa.
Oh, we're going to hit Eric.
Written and told by Kiefer Adams. Percy brought his stone trucks to the harbour near Tidmouth and was surprised to find Thomas sitting on his own and feeling rather sorry for himself. "Hello, Thomas," Percy greeted. "What's wrong?" "Oh, nothing," replied Thomas. "I was just thinking about Marklin." "Why?" "He had a good send-off, you know." "I know, but I wish the other engines, including me, had treated him better. He worked so hard on the railway before I'd even arrived. He didn't deserve what he had been given. Not even that accident." "It's all right," said Percy. "He'll feel better now that he's gone home. Wherever that is." "Do you think he'll be all right?" said Thomas. "I hope so," replied Percy.
This must be set
"Hopefully we'll get to see him again. You never know." Percy puffed away with his trucks, leaving Thomas alone with his thoughts. Marklin, the international tank engine, was now back on his old railway. It was none other than the Big City Port, home of Captain Star and Captain Zero's tugs.
Tugs.
In the early days of the harbour, Marklin had done all the work on his own. But upon his return, he discovered that things had changed since he had been away. As he was being offloaded by his ship, he noticed a little tank engine in the corner of the yard. She was busy shunting some wagons. The engine had long sloping tanks on both sides of her boiler, and her whistle was much like his own, but a little deeper. "Oh, hiya, pet," she called as she noticed Marklin. "It's about time you turned up. I've been working my buffers off." "Who are you?" Marklin said plainly. "Oh, sorry, where are my manners? Little Owl Love," she
Little
called.
Owl.
"You're going to be working with me."
That's the name of her.
"I think you'll find I won't," said Marklin. "I was working here long before you showed up." Besides, I'm ready to start work." "Oh, I don't think so, Chuck," said Little Al. "You're to report to Mr. Dale. He wants you to be overhauled." "Mr. Dale?" spluttered Marklin. "Why? Don't even argue," Little Al protested. "Let's just say he's expecting you." "Fine," Marklin harumphed, and he bustled away. Mr. Dale was in charge of the Dockyard Railroad besides the big city port. Little Al was right. He had big plans for the International Tank Engine. "It's good to see you again, Marklin," Mr. Dale said as he entered the workshops. "Don't you worry about a thing. We'll get everything sorted and you'll be back on the rails very soon." "I'd rather start now if that's all right," said Marklin. "I'm afraid that's out of the question, Marklin," said Mr. Dale from his office window.
Oh, right, he's getting his overhaul.
"We've got to overhaul you because things have changed since you've been away. We have to add some minor modifications, so to speak." Before Marklin could even protest, he found himself being overhauled right then and there. Over the next few weeks, Marklin found himself painted in a wartime grey. His funnel was removed, his buffers were taken off, and quite frankly, he looked rather ridiculous. 3 months later, Marklin was still having his overhaul. "Not long now," Mr. Dale would call from the office window. "Just a few more minor modifications and you'll be all good in no time." "Can't I just go back to work as I am?" Marklin would protest. But it was always the same argument. Mr. Dale would always tell Marklin that his modifications were important to the railroad. Marklin would always admit defeat every time. Time seemed to drag on, and Marklin soon found himself in an official coat of dark grey. There was no trace of his old self now. A brand new stovepipe chimney had been fitted on top of his boiler.
Wow.
Admittingly, Marklin felt rather silly. There were plans for his front headlamps to be removed, with a large lamp being placed on top of his smoke box. Marklin's overhaul was also slowly coming to an end, and when there wasn't a time that Mr. Dale was shouting at him to say all was nearly done, Marklin reflected on the early days of Sodor. He had recently begun to recall his first encounter with Thomas. Thomas had been nervous about the engine at first, as Marklin wanted to show him what needed to be done. But of course, as most new engines were, Thomas believed he could do everything, and Marklin made sure that he was put in his place. It wasn't just Thomas's early days Marklin recalled. He remembered the time when he and Edward pulled a train up Gordon's Hill, how he had been cheeky to Gordon, and of course his accident with the trucks.
Yeah.
Marklin sighed to himself. He wished now he had been a better engine to the others. Before long, Marklin's overhaul was complete. Winter had since come to the big city port, and Marklin felt rather uncomfortable as he stood outside the workshops that had been putting him back together into a different engine. He now had a brand new cowcatcher where his buffers had been.
The cowcatcher.
The new headlamp and stovepipe chimney, or stack, as Mr. Dale called it, felt very uncomfortable. Soon, Marklin was being put through his paces by Mr. Dale. His puffing was majestic, and the steam he emitted from his new piston boxes was incredible. Soon, there was only one more thing Mr. Dale wanted to see. "All right, Marklin," he shouted from the office window. "It's time to see what that new stack of yours can do. Line it up when you're ready." "I'm not going to enjoy this," Marklin groaned. He closed his eyes, braced himself, and the next thing he knew, a great cloud of steam emitted from his stack. Mr. Dale was delighted. "On that note, we can conclude that your tests are complete," he said finally. "Little Al is waiting for you by the dockyard. Please report to her immediately." She'll show you what needs to be done. Yes, sir, said Marklin rather reluctantly. He puffed away, feeling rather nervous. Towing a small truck behind him so that he could carry out his first deliveries, Marklin found Little Owl not too far up the line. "Oh, hiya, pet," she greeted. "I tell you what, you look much better." "Well, thank you," said Marklin, blushing a little. He emitted a cloud of steam from his funnel. "I must say, pet," Little Owl said, "that new stack looks good on you. Maybe it's time to change your name as well." "But I've always been Marklin," he said. "Maybe you just need a fresh appearance," Little Owl suggested. "What about, Puffa?"
Yep,
"Puffa?"
that's the name.
Marklin exclaimed. "Yeah, look at your stack. Look how much steam it emits." "Don't tell me that's not a good name." Marklin pondered for a moment. "All right then," he said finally. "Then Puffa it will be." "Splendid chuck," Little Owl said. "Come on, Puffa, let's show you around." Puffa felt much happier. He did miss Thomas and the other engines on Sodor, but he was glad to be back in familiar surroundings. But there would be a time when Thomas would see him again.
Yeah.
And we know what would happen when he did come to the big city port. Don't we?
We definitely do. Wow, that was a good story, Keeper. A good story to start off season 6 of your audio stories. I mean, I really love how it explained how Marklin converted into Puffa. It did right there. That, you know, he had to have a massive overhaul. He did the new big funnel, the new cow catcher, and I also like how, although Marklin thought he was not going to like being back home, he eventually got used to his new surroundings. He did. I also like how he reflected on his time on Soda. It was right there, referencing the Soda's early days and the fading into the background audio stories. It was. I really liked how it was referenced right there. So yeah, I'm really glad that Marklin's feels homely again. And even though the other engines, he misses the other engines, and the other engines on Soda miss him, they know that it was for the best, that Marklin no longer feels homesick. He's happy, and all the engines on Sodor are happy as well. So really was good to see Puffa, to see how Marklin converted into Puffa right there. Whole story centered around that, and yeah, really glad that he managed to feel at home again. And how although he and Little Owl didn't get off to the best of starts, they've now become good friends. And of course, we all know what happens when Thomas visited them, the big city port, and they visited him on Sodor, don't we? We know that. We know what happened right there, don't we? So yeah, I'm really good audio story to start off season 6. I can't wait to see the other ones. You do want to see my previous Thomas reactions. Whenever it's an audio story or Trains adaptation, I will have a playlist up in the top right corner of your screen right now. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button for me. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this. This audio story I reacted to. Also, let me know in the comments down below what other videos you want me to react to next. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok. Links to both of them will be in the description down below. Share this video, subscribe if you're new here, ring that bell to get notified for when I upload new videos, when I post in the community tab, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!